Janet Jackson gets cozy with an old flame.
Janet Jackson and Jermaine Dupri were the Hollywood couple everyone thought would last forever. Sadly, they split up after almost a decade of dating, and there were no signs of them getting back together. But now that might be about to change.
They cuddled and held hands in the VIP section of the upscale restaurant.
You guys won't believe what's been going on with Janet and Jermaine. A live stream clip of Jermaine and Janet hanging out together has been trending on the internet. Over one weekend in late October, the pair were spotted hanging out at the One Music Festival in Atlanta, where Janet was one of the headliners. Jermaine just happened to be there too. And after the festival, the live stream video showed the two of them hanging out together along with other artists like Nelly and Ashanti. This got everyone really curious because just a week earlier, Jermaine made a surprise appearance at Janet's Together Again tour. His appearance was a huge surprise because no one saw it coming, and it raised so many questions about whether or not they were back together. But there's more, because there was another viral video circulating of them together. In that video, Jermaine and Janet were seen chilling together, with Jermaine enjoying a hookah while Janet was sitting very cozily and close to him. They were even bobbing their heads at the same time to the notorious B.I.G. song Big Papa, so fans believed that they were together. Unfortunately, Jermaine shut down the rumors before they blew up with a public statement that they weren't dating. It was super disappointing because everyone wanted a sequel of the amazing love story between him and Janet. The story behind how they got together in the first place is quite amazing. Jermaine told the whole story in his interview with T.I. during an episode of the Expeditiously podcast. He said they met at her concert at the Omni Coliseum through their mutual friend Chris Cross. From then on, the two began flirting, and this continued until it turned into something more serious. They began dating, and their relationship attracted a lot of attention with their frequent appearances together at red carpets and award shows. They were basically couple goals, with Jermaine co-writing and producing some of Janet's songs. He also shared that their relationship got even more solid when he began to expose Janet to parts of the culture she hadn't experienced due to living in the bubble of her family's fame. It was really sweet watching their relationship blossom for the 7 years they were together. So their breakup came as a huge shock to everyone, including fellow artists in the music industry. Everyone was asking what happened, and the couple didn't leave us hanging. It seemed like most of the blame fell on Jermaine, and he admitted that it was kind of his fault. In that same interview, he told T.I. that the reason he cheated was that being with Janet made him attract other women, and so many women wanted to talk to him. So his first instinct as a man was to be reckless. Janet also said that aside from his cheating, her other reason for breaking up was that Jermaine also wasn't ready to fulfill commitment. She labeled him a workaholic and stated that even though they only saw each other 1 week a month, as soon as they did see each other, he would leave and go clubbing. He barely spent any time with her because he was too busy working. It was really sad, but it was to be expected as they were both at the peak of their careers back then, and their careers being really busy just made everything worse. Jermaine also said that they never officially lived together because neither wanted to move to the other person's city. He lived in his hometown of Atlanta while Janet lived in California, and though they visited each other often, when it was time to settle down, neither of them wanted to move. Still, their breakup was extremely devastating for Janet. In her documentary series titled Janet Jackson, she revealed that when they broke up, she thought she was never going to recover. Fortunately, she recovered in 2010 when she met businessman Wissam Almana at a hotel opening in Dubai. The pair dated previously and went on to secretly tie the knot 2 years later in 2012. And 5 years later, through what could almost be called a miracle, Janet gave birth to their son Issa Almana at 49 years old. Despite that, merely 3 months after their son was born, the couple separated, and Janet took to Twitter to confirm this. It was very surprising because the couple lived quietly, so everyone assumed all was good between them, but it wasn't. Her brother Randy Jackson told People magazine that Janet's marriage was filled with pain and harm. He said that in the later part of their marriage, Wissam reportedly got verbally harmful and made her feel like a prisoner in her own home. He said that it even went as far as him insulting her every day during her pregnancy, and people were extremely shocked that all of this was going on behind the scenes. However, Wissam's attorney debunked what Randy said and told People magazine instead that Wissam was hurt by the allegations and was sad that his marriage to Janet ended. But honestly, no one was as hurt about the marriage ending as Janet. All her 3 marriages had left her quite heartbroken. Her first marriage was to singer James DeBarge from the famous DeBarge family. In Janet's documentary, she explained that their marriage was was the only way for her to take back control of her life from her dad. The pair married in 1984 when Janet and James were only 18 and 21 years old. Even though her family was not happy about the news, they eventually came around to it. Unfortunately, Janet and James's marriage ended shortly after in an annulment in 1985. And the reason behind it was absolutely crazy. Janet said in her documentary that her family had gotten fed up with James's substance use. She said that it was so bad that there were nights when she looked for him on the streets as early as 4 in the morning. They also fought whenever she tried to help him by throwing away his pills. The whole ordeal made her realize that even though she loved James, she couldn't help him, and the realization made her move on. But 6 years later, in 1991, Janet found love again with her sister LaToya Jackson's backup dancer Renee Elizondo. They got married that same year, and they were very much in love. Their marriage wasn't too public, but Renee helped her behind the scenes by choreographing many of Janet's music videos, and he even helped her write her 6th album, The Velvet Rope. However, their happiness didn't last too long because in the year 2000, Renee filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. So all her marriages left Janet very heartbroken, and it's safe to say that the last straw was with Sam, because as far as we know, she has been single ever since they broke things off. Aside from her occasional hangouts with Jermaine over the years, there's been no sighting of her with anyone since 2017. Her primary focus seems to be her 6-year-old son Issa, and she's been very open about her motherhood journey. In an interview with Stellar Magazine, Janet revealed that she was fully invested in taking care of Issa. In her words, it was hard taking care of him while working, and to make things worse, she didn't even have a nanny. But she took motivation from the fact that her mother raised 9 children alone and without a nanny too. Also, she said that she occasionally did get the help of a nanny when she was on tour or performing at events, and though it's not easy, she said she always makes sure to put her son first. Janet also hinted that her son might be the next big thing in music because he developed a passion for it with the violin she bought for him. Her revelation warmed the hearts of many, but also made many people empathize with her for not being able to engage in a romantic relationship in the past 6 years. But she seems to be dealing with that just fine by engaging in a lot of work. She's been busy with her Together Again tour, but many still can't help but hope she takes a chance of rekindling her relationship with Jermaine. But what do you guys think? Is there a chance of Janet and Jermaine getting back together, or do you think they're just friends and exes? Let me know in the comments below.